just the utter joy of teenagers and how we listen to music and how we react to music. So the music's another thing. And then the third thing is I don't want there's not an altar call. This isn't a faith-based film in the sense of those movies that are urging you to make a decision or do something.
Right.
I want you to just remember and like the song, the Lone Justice song that the girl sings in the movie. Don't toss us away. I just don't want you to throw that away, because maybe there's something in your past, or maybe there's something you loved. Maybe there's someone you loved. Maybe there's something you loved, something that was important to you when you were young that may give you a clue to something you're looking for right now. And I would just leave it at that. And that doesn't have to be a spiritual epiphany, or even an emotional epiphany. Maybe it's just kind of like yeah, that's right. That was an important person in my life, and boy, that person really showed me love when I needed it, or whatever your realization is. I do think you should feel a little warm and fuzzy after the movie, and happy. I want you to have a good time watching the movie and feel happy about it.
So, Chris, and obviously Kevin Baumgartner, Judd Nelson, those were guys that would have at least potentially been familiar with some of this music, having come through the era. But your main leads in the movie were born, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. I mean,
yeah.
So how did they react to the music and the culture that they were portraying?
Sure. Yeah. It was interesting to see. They're all all the young people. There's 6 young actors. They've been in other things, TV and stuff, and movies, but this is going to be, I think, their biggest thing. All coming from different backgrounds, different faith perspectives, different musical tastes, but they're consummate actors, so they all dug in on it. They listened to the music, and it was fun to see them say, find a song like, somebody saying, hey, the 77s, that band's good. And it's like, yeah, 77s, are you kidding? Yeah, they're great. Or I didn't know Stryper did that song. I've heard that song. Yeah, Always There for You. Yeah, it was a big MTV hit. I know that song. So that was fun seeing their epiphanies as we went through. But before we started shooting, I brought some of my old friends from my old youth group. We had an actor retreat where we got all the actors together for a weekend, just about getting ready to shoot. And me and some old friends just immersed them in mid 80s evangelical youth culture, talking about ski trips and camps and, just everything that was involved, mission trips, choir tours, going to amusement parks, what a romance would be like, and so that was really fun. And they put up with us old guys, talking to them really well, and seemed to internalize a lot of it. Plus, we just made them hang out. They lived together when we were making the movie. We just made them be friends. And I think that comes across in the movie. You really believe these kids are friends. And they all, they just kind of look like we used to look,
Yeah, that's great. And folks, I want to make one thing clear. I know that there's been in the past people who say, well, that's a Christian film, you can expect bad acting, you can expect bad production or something like that. And that was true at times, and I think at times it still is. That is not true of this project. This project is off the charts, top quality, and Chris, you do a tremendous job as a filmmaker.
Thank you. Yeah, one thing somebody said, I had another friend say something like, this is not like this is really good, and that same kind of comment. And I said, the thing I tried to do, I tried not to make a Christian film. Like I just, in my mind, I was like, this is a rock and roll movie. It's a coming of age movie. It's the 80s. Just don't try to do that. And the result, I think, is a maybe not faith-based, but faith-laced movie. There's certainly, we take the character's faith seriously, and I think there's spiritual things to take out of the movie, but we just tried not to be really, that wasn't the point of doing it. We weren't heavy-handed at all. We're okay if you come out of the movie and you just have a great time, and you don't go to church on Sunday. But somebody is going to go to the movie and probably decide they want to go to church on Sunday. Like, so I it's not my job to make you do anything as an audience member. That's between you and your friends and God, and whatever happens because of this, great.
I like that line, faith-laced, not necessarily faith-based. I think that's an interesting line. That's certainly something that you guys can play with. I'll say this. I'm a huge fan of movies about music.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love the movie with Gary Busey, the Buddy Holly story. I love the Angela Bassett film, What's Love Got to Do with It? I really, that's one of those kind of guilty pleasures for me. I really, really love music movies. And so this was definitely going to go in that category. Once it gets released, and we want to hear a word about that if you have an idea about release, but at some point, do you expect this to come out on DVD, or are we so much into the 21st century that this is going to be a streaming only sort of project?
No, we're as filmmakers and as a production group, we want to make sure that any way you would consume a film or music, you have access to that. And I think the only thing we're not going to do is make cassette tapes. I think we've decided we're not going to do a cassette tape of the soundtrack. But there is going to be a double vinyl gatefold record, and there's going to be a CD. And yes, the movie will be on DVD and Blu-ray, but we'll see. We're in discussions with different people about how the movie comes out in the world. Some theaters are open, some are closed. I think the movie deserves some kind of theatrical release, but we don't know if the world will cooperate with us in that way. The key thing for us right now is, and people can learn about the movie at the website, electricjesusfilm.com. On we have a really robust social media program, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which is eJesusFilm. Just look up eJesusFilm, you'll find us. But we're trying to engage our audience now. This is the first podcast I have done in relation to the movie, and the reason why we want to go to true fans of Christian metal first and Christian music is because we respect this audience, people that are interested in this. We see you as the core. We see you two guys. When I think of Wildman and Steve, I think of delighting you in a theater. I want to delight you with the music, and I want to delight you with the movie. And I think you talk to people, and people listen to you. They're the same way. So over the course of the summer, I told you Commando is out. We're going to release 3 or 4 more songs and music videos along with those songs that will continue to tease the movie. I think around Labor Day we might have a trailer for the movie out. We'll see about that. And then all through the fall, whether you can get to any of these festivals we're going to be at or not, we'll still keep you engaged. And I think there's going to be a crowdfunding campaign in August for the soundtrack record. So it just going to electricjesusfilm.com, you will, and especially if you join the mailing list, you will know about stuff as soon as it happens. I can't wait. I mean, I've already heard back from a couple of film festivals, some good news, but I can't tell anybody yet. But there's, Electric Jesus will get to you, and however you need it to come to you, we will make sure that that is available to you.
Well, we want to thank you today for your time, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chris White, a producer, writer, director of Electric Jesus, the movie to soon come out, and you can go there, as he said, and find out at electricjesusfilm.com. Chris, thank you for joining us, and we will hope to have you back soon as this film gets closer to release.
Absolutely, you guys are great, and keep up the good work, and just keep doing what you're doing, because I mean, again, as somebody who just stumbled upon your podcast and listened to it, it was encouraging and exciting, and your enthusiasm for what you're talking about is just infectious.
Well, great. We appreciate that. And Chris White, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to find him on Twitter and electricjesusfilm.com. So, Steve.
Yes?
So, I asked you at the beginning of the show, how do you open a podcast? How do you open a radio show? Is there a good way? Is there a bad way? So now I'm going to do the old switcheroo on you, and I'm going to ask you, is there a way Is there a way to close a podcast out bad?
Yes, it would be to close the podcast out by giving directions on how to watch a documentary on Justin Bieber.
You always got to bring that name up, don't you?
I do.
Right. So, okay, let me switch it now. What possible way is there to close out a podcast good?
I think you send people to the electricjesusfilm.com website. I think you send them to YouTube where they can see Commando for Christ, the video from the movie, so that people can immerse themselves in the glory, the wonder, and the Aquanet that was the 80s.
Yes, absolutely. And while they're doing that, or I guess after they're doing that, they can also jump right over to wildmanandsteve.com, as you say, to see what all the fuss is about. I think we should make that our slogan, I think, don't you think?
Yeah, see what the fuss is about.
Yeah. What is the fuss about?
Yeah. Because we're on a very tight budget. We're a couple of fuss budgets.
Thank you for listening, everybody, every Sunday night, 8 p.m. live.